click on it. I hate clicking. I hate it. Americans don't click. We don't do the clicking. The only click things we click are guns. I'm sorry, I'm done. Anakin, you gotta
Yeah, you're banned.
get out of here. Badass cat. That's a badass animal, dude. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you, brother. I have no idea what the fuck that is about or when that started, but good morning, TikTok, YouTube, TubeYube. Sorry, I'm late. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was just straight up could not get my ass out of bed this morning. My eyes were so heavy. My whittle eyes. Okay. We're live everywhere. Morning, everybody. That shit stings like a motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hold on. Hold up, Jorge. Jorge, I got a question for you, brother.
Talk to me.
Which ones are yours? Just be honest with me, dude. You don't have to lie. Just be honest with me. Which ones? The ones with the buckle? Or the leprechauns on the left? What we rocking?
Don't start. Don't
I'm just
start.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
This dude said the buckles,
The
dude.
leprechauns, bro.
Hey, that was a 1 pound fucking avocado, damn
Dude,
near.
that's crazy, man. It's probably all seed though, right? Yeah, I'm okay, baby.
Nah.
I'm okay. Thank you for asking. It's so sweet. What? Added what in Fortnite? You gonna show your bracelet off? No? Oh, that's right. Secret bracelet. Sorry. I love you, baby. Aw. Cute. You smell like a marshmallow today. You ate some yesterday? Did you rub them on your face? Oh, very good. Get out of here. Good morning, everybody. Be sure to tap your screens if you're on TikTok. Did you cut that avocado open though, Jorge?
Nah. Not ready.
Do you spray on those things?
Yeah, that's why it looks like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Good morning. Would I invest in snow long term? I mean, that's definitely not what we're discussing now. I don't or haven't seen that signal yet. 1 second. I gotta grab my shit. So everybody tap your screen. All right. I don't know if anybody remembers that cat we rescued. Here's his dumbass now. Admittedly, he is a good boy. And he's got a chain on. Here you go, Ivy. All right, brother. Go do cat stuff. Yeah, he does. He's got a little Cuban. It's a bracelet. Damn near. All right. What's up, y'all? Morning, good morning. All right. Let's go ahead and just started trading. Is this an easier stock to watch? Yeah. Yeah. Stocks go through phases though. Stocks go through phases. So sometimes stocks are you got a lot of volume in them. There's a lot. Um, but yeah, I mean, the more empty space you see, the more actually I would say something that looks like the cues, that's something that's easier to navigate, versus trying to trade it in here or something like that or in there. Yeah, I can look at that. Hold on one second. All right, if you guys are on TikTok, please tap your screen. I'm going to go ahead and go over our ETFs here today. 24-hour candle opens here. And we are still holding. Okay. So everything is still intact in terms of maintaining and holding our floors or opening up in range. We are still opening up above what we need to hold and what we need to break. And we do have the tension above and below to do that, right? So this is just subscribed on YouTube, but that's lagging like 6 seconds behind. Yeah, I know. I don't know if I can change latency now that the stream has started. Yeah. Hold on one second. Where the fuck did it go? Hold on one second. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so back to what I was saying. This morning we are opened again in between the green candle that we need to recover and the green floor that we need to hold on to. So we go to the 4-hour, and now we can see the green candle up above that we tapped and the floor that we maintained as of this morning and yesterday, right? 2-hour, same thing. So what is today? A read and react scenario. If you are planning on taking this at the bell without any other further knowledge, you could get cooked. But and a lot of people are bearish right now, which I think, is kind of funny because they're talking about job data or some bullshit like that, which comes out in 40 seconds. I guess we'll see if the market crashes here in a second, but almost 8-9 years now. How long have you been? What should I look for the most for beginners? What should you look for? You should be looking to identify what a good setup within a strategy looks like. All right, so as we watch this, right, we want to see a punch back through the box, a move over 617, and we have access to wide open spaces. All right, it's a really good song that just came out. It sounds just like that. But above 617, we're looking up. We got the imbalance inside of that empty space that's more than likely going to get hit. And then if this fails, if price is unable to do that and it retraces and loses its 610, so you don't need to be right today. You don't need to be right. Like your bias does not need to be correct. You need to react accordingly if that happens. And being stuck, right, in between two levels that you either need to hold, which you're seeing that now, that's what needs to be broken. And I don't, I don't expect for that to be a straight line. So lower time frame, 15-minute, the box is intact. Your stop losses should probably be centralized on one of those candle closes, whether it be the floor or the top. But that's about it, right? You know where your targets are. You should already know where your contracts look like, or what your contracts are going to look like. We do have a 15-minute range here that you could use at 618.35 as well as 619.50. Looking for a break into just wide open space. So Potter, is March course 1 day? Nope. Like the jacket today? Thank you. No, this is going to take as long as it needs to take, man. I mean, trading is not even going to be the main priority at this point in time, right? It's going to be teaching this. I mean, I'm going to be trading, trust me, but last time I burnt myself a little bit doing that. If you
Well, I
trade
bet you-
options, why the stop loss? Why the stop loss? So we don't lose money? Because if I know that the move is going to be going in the opposite direction, if I know that a floor is set to be lost, or I know that if we punch down below 608.50 that we're going to drop down to 604, why would I? If I know that something's about to happen based on something mechanical, why wouldn't I react? Why wouldn't I re-enter? So, any thoughts on FLWS Valentine's Day squeeze? Remember this, guys. The stock market is always thinking 8 to 12 months ahead. So flowers, right? that shit popped up. It's FLWS. That's right. I mean, here's what I always tell you. Set up first. I don't see one here. That kind of logic is like, don't you just lose the premium if you're wrong? Yeah, but that's still money, man. Yeah, we don't want to lose the premium. It's not indefinite losses like you would shorting, but it's still something that needs to have. What has to happen in order for the punchback to be valid? The 50% mark needs to be closed. I mean, right now the Qs actually look really good. Trying to go and break that lower time frame box right now and get over the head at 617.26. And then
This
it
one
is
looks good too.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, 1-800-Flowers. That kind of, again, that kind of logic in the stock market is actually counterintuitive. Like you got to kind of know that, like, maybe it has news. Like there was a stock a couple weeks ago, and they announced on their page that they were going to be holding this conference, but they didn't make a big deal about it. And then they said on that day we're holding, or the day before, they're like made a big deal about it, and the shit shot up. You know what I mean? It's like they pick and choose on what they decide is valid or not. The market could go sideways today, and uh, something simultaneously terrible could happen that another day you can narrate as the reason why the market fell. They just pick excuses. They just pick. I've seen it now reading the pre-market emails I get, basically like, or after hours, traders were, feeling, or they'll say, price was mostly sideways as traders were anticipating the FOMC meeting tomorrow. And it's like, if the market had ripped, you would have said, Markets are excited or pricing in a potential higher, lower basis cut, whatever. So, Potter, how come you have yellowish candles? Why are you looking at my candles, man? Leave my candle color alone. I have no, uh, I have no higher reason other than I just try to keep them from being exactly red and green. I'm either colorblind or you are though, because that is light green and this is like an orangish yellow. Not bad, dude. Not bad. First target is 3687. Hey, yo, IWM is moving. Oh, sweet. Fuck yeah. And what do you know? Every licking bit of empty space directly up above you. So you do have a continuation potential, right? Through this range and over basically 270. Potter, my buddy, and I are both signing up for. Yeah. Okay. So, and I'm a little sleepy here today, so I'm failing to say things. IWM, empty space is filled. You do have that lower time frame box. Everything is more lower time frame now, but we are above. Clearly, losing 266.70 would not be a good thing at all and would lead to a 265 retest. Keep that in mind. But otherwise, that would definitely be something, or if you did swing, that's a TP right there, and leave your runners. All right, so anyway, stepping back real quick, brush over, QQQ still needs to go and recover 617. We've got the lower time frame set up here. We need to break over 617.16. I don't know if I can expect all of this to happen today, but 619.50 would be the first overhead target. 619.35 would be the first overhead target on the higher and lower time frames. Again, there's nothing here, but when I move down, you can start to see and identify that floor / range. We also have the same setup to the downside, right? If we fail any sort of recovery up above and price retraces back down and loses 610, there's actually a reversal trade there. So if you know where the triggers are above and below every single day, then you have the ability to know where to get out. Cool. Holding a bunch of PLTR shares. Good morning, Adam. PLTR shares. Yeah, we'll take a look at it in just a minute. All right. Huh. I never heard of them before. Sorry. Kava down to 60. Ooh, my Discord almost crashed. No. All right. So let's take a look at a couple of things here. Car moving really well, right? Because it's nice, slow, easy, straightforward. It does have a gap to fill. Don't be surprised if it does get filled at some point, but we are looking at 67.42. Snow. You little shit. Still holding some snow. Finally making that new high. I got scared. I got a little scared. I'm not going to lie to you. But
Still got 4 left. I better keep going.
they better keep going, right, baby? So 190.50 is straightforward. TP. If you're holding on to anything after that, that's your ass, not mine. And if you got a little bit of extra ass to give, then give thy ass. But that would be 194. And that is channel confluence. So, you do have a little bit of grace there for your ass. All right. Now, moving on. Snow. Let's see here. I just repeated this. You guys, I am tired. And I shaved the tip of my finger off. Don't worry about it. I'm not even joking. I was peeling an orange this morning and I peeled me. It was not appealing. I'm sorry. All right, shut the stream down. I'm sorry. All right, Lulu. I want to talk about this one really quickly. It did pull back, but it is something that I'm looking for a pop back up and off of this retest on the 24-hour time frame with continuation up above us. And Lulu's obviously known to do this. However, if we do lose the 179.81 area, this is going to drop further, and you could probably get out. The ETFs, I think, are going to be making a bigger move here, personally. Yo, is that the Commonwealth? What's up, man? I was just in the Commonwealth last night. Betraying the Brotherhood. All right, if you have anything you would like for me to take a look at, please drop your request now. And I would be happy to take a look at that. And yeah, go ahead and drop them requests. Discord, por favor. Oh, my bad. Damn it. I forgot to unmute myself there. Apple also has a, oh, whoops. Kava down to, let's put it, La Vaca? It's not done yet, right? And I said this yesterday, that floor, same setup. You need an engulfment on the 24-hour time frame. And you have a great setup, guys. This is a great setup. If you're watching this setup, this is a good setup, great setup, love the setup. Gonna set it up. However, right, some things have to be accomplished like they were last time, and that would be an engulfment. I would say start with 60 or 70 bucks, 69 at some point, and even pointing that there is so close. But you do have a, yeah, I could actually say this is a day trading, right? A little day trading setup up to 71.89 over 70.11. Cool. All right, Apple day trading setup. What index is this? If the indexes are pulling back, it usually goes down. Sure, but I've played individual equities setup first. You know, I mean, you may be correct, and with the ETFs failing, I'm looking at the Qs here. There's always the possibility with nothing being reclaimed. And yesterday, what did we talk about on Apple? Right, empty space up, pop. There's a day trade for sure, up to 670, 688. And listen, folks, One thing that people fuck around with day trading and scalping is they try to do what I do and leave runners. You don't leave runners. When you take a day trade, it is A and B. You don't really get the opportunity to leave runners on something like this unless you see something more and buy the right expiration for that. But if you're going at it scalping and you're hitting it heavy and getting out quick, which, you know, again, not everybody's thing. So yeah, you can have sector divergence. You could have stocks that are within a sector that diverge. Qs are ripping up really nice up into that cost basis mark right now as we speak. If anybody is in QQ calls or looking at that empty space up above. Hold on one second.
It's
I think someone's
110,
walking up to my door.
618 for today.
All right. QQQ is on YouTube. I've already done it. But we'll do it again in just a second. I always do the ETFs first. All right. PayPal. That's not bad. It does have the possibility to build a higher time frame box with 4 candles kind of exhausting themselves off this bounce. It does seem like that it's a little bit short-winded. The overhead resistance is 4250. And the first target is unfortunately only 43. Do you trade live after open? Sometimes. Dude trading a shit Israel coin? I mean, you ain't lying. Wall Street Trapper. That's not the... Oh, you got that name from somebody else. There's a dude on Instagram. I can't stand him. He sells the most basic bullshit. Wall Street Trapper. He had a book for $500 and his sales dropped crazy. And he changed the sale to 90% off. He was like, I need volume quick. Next week, he was posting some shit in like Bermuda. I was like, Hey man, what exactly is going on March 1st? Steamboat Special. I am teaching the Potterbox workshop. So it is basically from start to finish, from brokerages to contracts to options, Greeks to channels, boxes, time frames, entries, exits, candlesticks, all of it. And it's going to take some time. Which is why it's all going to be recorded. And this time I'm going to try to do it a little bit different. I'm going to try to run my videos through those note-taking things. And I'm going to try to build you guys some things to look at as we go through it. All right, what do we got next?
You're about to test it.
Who?
The Qs are about to test those.
Yeah, they are. Yep, it's right over. And this is a separate high from that box.
These are too. Google, Apple, a lot of them are pushing up right now.
Yeah, Snow, how are we doing on that one? Good. Could be doing better here. You can check my website. It's potterstockstrading.com. Links in my bio. All right, let's look at Amazon up. Not bad. Good tension. Didn't fall, right? Lots of overhead pressure. Yeah, so this is, whether it triggers or not, still a good setup, but there's some things that has to happen, right? We know this. 212.50 has to happen. Okay, so on the 24-hour, we have figured out that that is what needs to break, and we'd be looking for a 215.20 and 217.84 target overhead. All right, so we dive down to the 4-hour. And again, I am teaching you those of you guys on TikTok, I'm showing you how we do this, right? It's a good setup. So how do we actually make it work? Right now, we don't really have much, but we can see that there is a separate range here. 210.22 would be the 50% market within that. So let's go to the 2. All right, that structure drastically expands, but what do I see that is correct? I do see candles closing at 210.30, so we're going to hold that, right? We will expand this up, and I don't need to bring this all the way back down. I don't, right? Because at the end of the day, these big whips up and down, they're still empty space. So it's still structure, right? Coming from over here, that's holding you up because that's cost basis, correct? So there's your box, there's cost basis, there's you holding the top. So you need to flip over 210 and you'd be looking at a break over, yes, 211. Let's go to the hourly. So yes, an hourly candle close, 30-minute, yes, 15-minute, also yes, and 5-minute, no. So you would need a, and you could definitely take this somewhere else, right? You could take this maybe off the top of 210.50 because of the box you have on the 5-minute. That's perfectly aligned with cost basis, and that is a strong overhead resistance. No, that is basic. Hey, Farsal, what are you talking about? Because you're not making the same amount of money that we are. So we're gonna pipe down on criticizing or talking about my system. Thank you. All right, Oracle to the upside. 24. Still the target is 176 overhead right here. And 4-hour time frame, we're going to split that range in half, right? And so it is, and it's not quintessential empty space, but there is a target at 171 over your highs of 166.28. It's not clear, right? I'm being real with this one, but it would be 175 if you could make that break. But that is going to be 166.65 is going to be a pretty important level. So, all right, let's see here. Meta. Fuck. No. Here we go again. That looks nice. That looks real nice. I see a pretty strong, I mean, obviously this is off to a great start. And we using the lower time frame triggers and looking for a break over 680, there is a strong potential move up to 680, 685, and 689. But the channel does say there is could be potentially more. So this could be a swing candidate all the way to 702. That looks pretty good. That does look pretty good, I have to admit. What you're saying is put all of your life savings in this trade on 2x margin. You know what I would do? Instead of doing that, I would draw that star in the middle of your floor, with some sort of sacrificial liquid. And no, I'm just fucking with you. I clicked on your profile. That's funny. No, I'm not saying that, but it does look great. It does look great. Day trading is messing people up who Day trading is messing up people who who in for long term? No, that has nothing to do. Day trading has nothing to do with long terms. Nah, Zuckerberg. Listen, Zuckerberg doesn't get it back. He was in the Epstein. I just saw a picture of him this morning with Elon Musk at dinner with Epstein. That was, see, they canceled their wrestling match because they had one. They had one. A little oil me down, bro type wrestling match. I know it happened.
Yeah, they were creating a new coin. It was called the pedo coin.
Something like that, dude. The bro love coin. All right, meta looks pretty good. So I do like that one. I'm gonna add it to the watch list for today. INTU downside. Oof, you've already got so much downside, my brother. What do you have underneath you? So I do not short into structure. This is where people get faded. And honestly, this is a place where fading could happen again. So major area of consolidation. Honestly, this could be an upside play, my brother. You could be looking at a punchback through this 442.50 and outside of 449. You got a great play. Actually, anybody who's looking at this, if you do get a higher high today with ETF cooperation, you got a pretty juicy little setup here if you can. Otherwise, you have, yes, 413, and then the next target would be 496 if I'm wrong. Yes, Jose, that was. Ooh. So you do have empty space. You did bounce off of your floor. Period. End of story. You did touch the wicks. So this is going to be lower time frame because you need to find out what you're anchored on. Oof, you have very little. So you better be grabbing. So let's look at the 15-minute because that's going to be the most useful here. So small box right here. You've already punched through that. So the next overhead target would be 48.20. And 48.50. 48.20 and 48.50, both floors, both strong floors. That is what needs to be recovered here this morning in order for you to see continuation up to $50. Period. End of story. There we go. Nope, Wednesday is not live trading day, guys. So I will be live back at I'll be hopping off before the bell. And we'll be live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. But I'm giving you guys the sauce right now. So, all right, what else do we got? Shopify. So that one actually already did most of what I thought it was going to do. If you took that trade, that when we talked about it, excellent. I mean, this morning I'd be the fuck out for sure. But there is look, at being real with this setup, there is more. There is very much more. A, yes, we did get the floor. B, we just need to get over this top at 143.82 or your pre-market high. I, again, wouldn't ask Shopify to do that today after such a strong rip. But there is a 136 retest and a target overhead at 155 if you can keep your foot on the gas pedal. That is, honestly, if you took that Shopify play, I didn't take it. I missed it. Looks really good. All right. I'm looking. Hold on. NKTR for a squeeze. I mean, your mid punch back. The squeeze target would be 71.75 and 78. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of empty space up there, but you'd need a catalyst for sure. Is anybody swung SPY? You do have a pretty weak overhead resistance. We talked about this yesterday. Right now, you're looking, I mean, it's so close, right? You're just looking for 697.60 to go get that break. I will say, for day traders, today could be especially difficult. Day traders could have a really rough time because when you see this much empty space in pre-market, the open is typically a whipsaw. unless we can open up a price outside of 697 in the next 30 minutes. This could be a little bit difficult. So you'd be looking underneath you, right, for price on the 30-minute to maintain its hold above 695. Period. End of story. If that fails, 695.50, then we would be looking back into that empty space. And it's really just between you and that box right there. So I'm more interested. Well, IWM is take profit now that the target's been hit, but Qs are the one ETF that still has a pretty golden opportunity directly up in front of it. All this juicy shit.
Garrett,
Yo, what's up, boss?
isn't it what you just said though on SPY, like on the Qs with that much empty space, we should be hesitant a little bit at first, or
Without having
kind of just
broken
a-
what you need to break, and with a overhead target, even on the Qs at 618, if we whip fast, don't you think that we would more than likely come back and retest, right? And that's again, yes, it is harder always to trade when you've had a big gap up and you've got resistance close to overhead, because the move could be short-winded and it might be a patient retest that you need to actually get. And this is so much empty space, like why rush it? You know what I mean? Like the you're probably going to need to build, but obviously we'll
So
react
don't
to
buy
those
zero
levels when we get
DTEs.
there.
Buy like 4 DTE.
For all of that, yes. Yeah, for all of that, yes. I mean, I'm still going to play it with weeklies, but just
On
not a
what?
lot of risk.
Qs?
Yeah.
Bro, when you say weeklies, my mind just automatically thinks it's a 7-day contract. I don't know
Yeah, my
why.
bad.
Every time you say that shit from QQQs.
I see a test off of 3650 here today for mRNA. Oh. When you hit that, watch for a 39.23 bounce. You can use an option calculator to calculate what your options are to try and set the ask or bid, or market sell it at a certain price if you're going to be caught in a dip at the open. The pedo rocket ship. So bias more could be the bad person. I see a 290. I mean, I don't really see a golden opportunity on this. One day you see 430 here, but I mean, this is abysmal. The only benefit I could say here is that you're bouncing off of your floor and you've got a $3 retest. But yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it'd be nice if you didn't do that retest first. The RT is blowing up right now. Well, that means it's too late. I could never chase something like this. Yeah, I had a 221 target on that one, and it's already blown past it. So yeah, that's the kind of shit that I just I don't even, unless you are already in. I just did space. That looks terrible. HX. So you do have a good candle close, and the most obvious move here would be a retest back up to 101. That's super obvious, super clean. 102 being that next target up above. So I would say look at Orb. Orb is 99.73. This one just needs to break over the top, my brother. Don't overthink it. Right? We need a candle close outside of that range. We need to be on top and over 34.50. 34.57 to be exact. I like taking trades, but when I'm trading, I turn everything off for just my judgment. Turn what off? Car's looking great here this morning. Again, this is going to be a slow mover, but the setup is excellent. I love the 68.86 floor tap that we have possibly incoming over the 67.50s, and obviously all of that empty space into the 75.77. So. Eli Lilly does have a move coming. It does have a move coming. And right now, I would say my bias is kind of short, if I'm being honest with you, with 3 overhead rejections like that, 1 off of the bottom. This is definitely a candidate once we do lose, and it would be something I'd have to be sure of. It looks like 1,012 would be step 1 in order to get that floor. And I mean, you have some decent targets underneath you. I would say in this 935 would be, nope, sorry, too short-sighted. 957, 950, 958 would be the first target underneath you. Yeah, car looks good. That doesn't have 3 rejections overhead. So, I mean, it's still in the game. You still are holding cost base or holding the 50% mark. So, I mean, honestly, this one's actually above that candle close 233.85. You could look long. But if you do break 228.50 and lose the floor of 225.65, yes, that is a short. I would be aiming for the gap. Yeah, no problem. Hold on 1 second. Oh. Just saw a TJR video, almost threw up in my mouth. Yeah, no need for trading, go long. Thanks, Matt. I'll just give up on everything that I planned on doing because of that comment. All right. Space looks like hot dog water. Shouty. You did get a good bounce off of the weekly floor, so I mean, if you want to look at that as a potential, sign, but the reality is that you're up against that 280, and if you do get past 280, you have $3. Yeah, I have a normal long-term. Yeah, I've got a lot of great long-term trades that I'm holding on to right now. Core is just not something that I could feasibly buy right now. I don't buy things at their highs. It's just a common practice for me to avoid, having a terrible average. Honestly, with something like that, I'd rather catch it on the way down. I mean, it looks good, but like I said, I look at the higher time frames, the monthly, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive months of rippage. I'll wait. Even if it's just a little bit more sideways action, that would be preferred. What long-term options do you recommend for new traders who want to start something? You see, it doesn't work like that, right? Those opportunities like come to us. We don't have like a literal yeah, I know the NQ. We don't have like a list of things that are long term, because if it makes the list and we buy it, right, and it's long term, then we're holding it. And there are a list of stocks that I gravitate towards. Elf is one of them. However, Elf is not a buy right now. I've executed some amazing equity purchases on Elf. It's generated me a substantial amount of income, for sure. So I mean, I have, like, favorites, I guess, if you will, but they don't always open up. And so I say, like, right now, long-term option is car. Right now we're looking at car. This one's already doing well, doing really good actually here this morning. And above 67, 65, right? We're looking for 68, 81 to get filled. And this one has a great setup to rip up into its 78s. So that's a setup that we found, and now that's a setup that's added to a longer term option list. And when it's done, trash. Move on. I don't
Hey,
love
Garrett, I
stocks
got a
or like them. What's up?
Silver to the upside. I got a couple of 82s for Friday expirations. 82 might be a little bit of a reach.
With the daily range that we're experiencing on silver, if they expire, you said when they expire?
Friday, 13.
Friday, okay. I mean, you're in a good spot here this morning, being bouncing off of that 75.88. Again, this is where we kind of have to focus on where that main structure is, and that's where you retest it. That's 81.12. So, over 78.20 and holding on to your pre-market lows, sure, that could happen. But if you lose that, no bueno.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I got to watch it. All right.
Yep. Jane, sometimes, not very often. I make a lot of money with options and equity.
Hey, Potter,
Yeah, what's up?
you think that your childhood emotional damage is the reason why you have no emotions in the stock market?
No, I'm still a very emotional human being. I just have learned which emotions are worth reacting to and which ones are not. My wife makes me mad. Is it worth it? Probably not. Right? Like, what
Can we
is
have can we this in the new workshop?
do what?
Can we have an emotional section in the workshop?
I'm sure we're
'Cause
gonna have
I
a
let
lot
my
of emotional sections. Yeah,
my
listen,
emotions played the fuck out of me yesterday.
you know what I was just talking to Manny about yesterday is I told him, I was like, the same problems, I don't get to know everybody, but the people that I do get to know, and they share more about what their life is like and what they do on a day-to-day basis and what their habits are. Most of the time, in fact, I would say every time, whatever you struggle with in your real life, it will be exposed in this stock market. If you overreact and you get angry and you don't know how to deal with that emotion or let it pass, watch it move on and not react to it, you're going to have a hard time. If you're somebody who is impulsive in real life and sees something and does something, then deals with the consequences, you are going to have a rough time. These are things that I had definitely issues with. My frustration and anger that I carried in my real life towards everything from my parents to how I was raised to the cards that I felt that I had been dealt. The only thing that did was help me build up a victim mentality, which did what? Make me sit in it longer. So it becomes you start to look at it from a rational perspective, from a logical perspective, and you're like, you know what? Not everything that I feel is real, right? Not everything that I feel is something that's worth holding on to. And so most of the time, I've found this to be true with being a father. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. So how do I translate that to the charts? If I'm using good risk, right? And I haven't put something that's going to piss me off into the stock market, and my trade doesn't go my way, I have a better chance at reacting accordingly. But if I put myself into a situation where I'm heavy and I went too hard, or I bought the wrong expiration because I was being impulsive or rushing or jumping into something without having properly planned, then your decisions are your own, and you will face an opportunity. I mean, really, every single time you feel something, it's an opportunity to decide whether or not it's worth it. And there is, I know some of you guys might struggle with anger out there. There is a window. There's a window to breathe as it's happening, and you can regulate your system, because what that's really is we build up triggers in our animal brain, right, that are supposed to keep us safe, but they overreact in situations that have nothing to do with them. So it's important that you do this in real life, right? Be patient. And that's not, when I say be patient, that's just a word. If you're patient, right, that means you're if you have to be patient, or you want to be more patient, guess what you got to do? You got to be in more situations that test it. Test your patience. That's the only time you're going to get better at it. My kids, my wife just busted in here right now. She's got her phone up. Is that a cart? No. All flights at El Paso.
They just closed it down for 10 days.
What the fuck? All commercial, cargo, and general flights are halted in El Paso Airport, Texas for 10
Yes.
days for security reasons. U.S. government may use deadly force. Another country?
I don't know. They just broke it on Fox News. I see something.
Benjamin Netanyahu's in El Paso. I'll be back, guys. No, I'm just kidding. It's National Defense Airspace?
El Paso does have a pretty big military base right there.
I know, I used
That's
to live
what I'm
there.
saying.
I lived on Fort Bliss, but it's not that big of a deal. I mean,
If you don't think this country knows everything that's going on before it happens,
it's best not to sit and squander on it.
no, you can't do that.
Wife and kids? I thought you were like 22. I know, I look like
Getting
a...
back to what you were saying, you know, you let things affect you and have a negative aspect on things, man, it could drag you down.
and I'm being candid here. I let my frustration towards not having my parents, for the hand I was dealt, I held on to a ton of resentment. And you know what that got me? Bad relationships, short temper, guilt. You're mad at how you react to things. You feel like you don't have control. It's like, you know what? Why am I ruminating on things that I can't do anything about? I can't go back. I can do better. I can want to do better, and I can focus on that. And I'm not going to say, listen, the road to be, you know, my wife, you know, tell me that I'm patient with the kids, and, you know, that's awesome. But it took a lot of fucking mental, like, it took a lot of wanting to be better. And if you don't have that within you, if you don't think that there's anything that you need to do to improve, or something that you could do to be better, then you're probably not going to. But it starts with, I mean, I say the same thing with, you know, trying to make yourself smarter. You got to start with saying, I know nothing. You know, I need to learn. I'm open to whatever's next, because clearly whatever I'm doing right now is not working. You know, whether that's you internalizing something, or it's, you know, some knowledge-based thing that you're looking to learn. So, but anyway, and listen, if you're a young man out there and you feel these unvetted, just burst of rage and anger, it's about normal, right? It is your opportunity to be better. Don't look at it as like a curse. Don't look at it as like maybe you didn't get treated well when you were a kid. Maybe you did get dealt a bad hand. But you know what you're going to do? You're going to deal somebody else a bad hand. And you're going to pass that bad hand on. And so it takes a lot of courage, but you got to be the one to stop it, you know? And man, I tell you what, it's crazy, because I'm thankful for it in some ways, because I even sometimes now impress myself. I'm like, damn, I didn't get lit. Like, I'm good. You know, like I maintained my composure. I didn't let this affect me. And now I can keep living my life. Think about how exhausting it is to be angry, to be upset, and how long that recovery period can last. When you crash out, the last good crash out I had, man, it felt like it took me 2 weeks to get back up on my feet. So,
Yeah, it's terrible, man. When I'm driving around and it's been snowy and icy around here and people don't know how to drive, I get crazy. I gotta reel myself in.
you know how I
Settle
help
down.
myself with that,
Um,
man, is I try to put, like, think about being a brand new driver driving in the ice and snow. It's got to be scary. You're going to be tapping your brakes. So I try to be more. I found that even if people don't necessarily deserve it, we all need compassion. You know, we all need a little bit of compassion, and it's a tool. Like, maybe sometimes, yeah, that person's a 60-year-old guy, 50-year-old guy, maybe he's 30 my age, and he's just driving like a jackass. You know, like, yeah, it's hard to give somebody like that grace, but I also am not going to let you fuck me up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I haven't
you
not.
know,
I've yelled at some grandmas on the road. All right, I remember
yeah.
being in Portland, and I had half of my body out of the window, yelling at this lady, and I look in the driver's seat, and it's like this 5'4", tiny 80-pound-year-old lady, and she's waving her little hand at me like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck. What was I supposed to do with
You
all
know,
that
like
anger?
sometimes when I get cut off on the highway, I think about people I cut off, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? I've done it to people too, not you know, by accident, not
Yeah.
because I wanted to.
But I think just wanting to be better, you know, just, hey, yeah, I don't like how I feel when I act this way. And I tell my son this, and he's seen the results of it too. I'm like, it doesn't start because we're humans that like, or humans like instant gratification. They want to say, well, I'm going to change. And then immediately you do. But it's like, you have to, it is a want. You got to want to be better with that, with its trading. If you want to be more patient, right? That means you're going to sit and you're going to be faced with FOMO, and you're going to be faced with, fuck, you know, all these different situations. And it's your breath work, your mental work, or awareness rather, that is going to be the key to being like, okay, I'm the problem. I'm the person who keeps pulling the trigger and getting in on these setups that don't make any fucking sense. And you take personal responsibility for that, have patience with yourself, reduce your risk, and want to be better. I know that's oversimplifying things, but damn if that
No,
shit did
you're
not
right
help
on
me a
point.
lot.
You're right on point.
All
You're
right.
right on point. FOMO reminds me of me always rushing to get somewhere.
Yeah. 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 There you go, man. Slow it down. Slow it down, man. As a trucker, when I started driving, I was angry at every single day at people. Now I just shake it off. Right. Because it probably was exhausting, Wilson. Right? It was like, damn, dude, this shit's fucking. That was the. I probably used to be so gassed out, getting pissed off, man. Oh, man. And as a young man, you think of it as power, you know, but in reality, it's a weakness. So,
I have a problem with being impulsive.
impulsive. I can hear it in your voice. No, I'm just
Impulsive.
kidding. I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking.
No,
You know,
seriously, bro.
impulse control comes with, again, you're aware.
Bro.
So you already have half the battle, right? You're aware of your impulsive nature. You got to get better, right, in order for this to work. And this means that you have to really practice sitting on your hands and knowing, like, when you set up in the morning, if you do not have a trade set up, then you don't trade, right? And unless you can set one up in the day's time and you're charting actively. But if you don't have a setup and you're not ready to go and prepped at the bell, that already is going to be, you're going to be impulsive because you're going to, your brain is going to try to be finding it. And in a way that's good, but in another way, it could lead to an impulsive decision because you're not taking your time like you can in after hours by zooming out and zooming in. So, all right, let's do a couple more charts here. HL, this is a good talk. I'm glad that we'll talk more about this, and I'll definitely talk more about our emotions when we get into the workshop. Maybe we'll cry a little bit, you know, get some tears out. Jorge cries every single time, every workshop. Isn't that right, Jorge?
Just the peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, the peanut butter
Just
sandwich
so much
story.
passion.
Just so much
Passion, bro.
passion. Oh, I love that dude. Oh my god. You can come to my funeral, Jorge. I don't have any other big
Right.
events planned, so I'm just, you know, that's one I do have.
I'm dead, bro.
Steve cried. Yo, really said Steve cried. That's fun. All right. So HL Mining Company, great build on cost basis. You're looking for a break over 2467. That starts with a break over 2419. Target would be the gap fill at 2614. That looks good. Hood. I had a feeling that was what was going to happen. No shit. Yeah. That's how, and we talked about this, right? Being the box build. Let's look at what happened here. Right off of the first red candle to your left, as per this strategy. So we bounced off of something. What's up above you? Because when you bounce, if you're going to go back up, you're going to recover something. So far, that has not happened. 30-minute time frame. There's your box. There's your entry. There's your trade. 78.86 to the upside. First target, 81.50. If that can clear, you got the world in front of you. Obviously, to the downside, any retest back up or cost basis rejection. This actually looks good for a retest back up, though. No, so it doesn't look bad. I came here to learn about a strategy, but I'm staying because it's more than trading. So much more than trading, man. As shitty as the stock market can make people, I'm happy that I approached it the way that I did, because it forced me to do better. It's so much psychology. I've read books on. I have a couple of books that I read a while back, and I'll recommend them to you. They're not trading books. Really glad you found me. Yeah, man. Everything for a reason, brother. So real quick, and my cat, I just discovered, has chewed up the corners of my books. He will swiftly and kindly be evicted from my home. No, I was kidding. Yeah, so Thinking Fast and Slow, by Daniel Kahneman. That's one hell of a last name. That's a really good book. I like this one a lot. Gabor Mate, Scattered Minds. This is the origin and healing of attention deficit disorder. And then I like this one very, very, very much. This one's called Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nugan. And Why Your Thinking is the Beginning and the End of Your Suffering. Great books. That was a rejection on Hood right there. I'm personally not trading Hood here today. That is not my focus here. I've got a couple of positions that I swung that I'm looking to vacate. One of those is being snow. So, all right. Our Wi-Fi just crashed. Oh, the Wi-Fi networks are down. All right, TikTok, YouTube. I'll see you guys at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Best of luck. If you don't feel comfortable doing something, if you're new, don't traumatize yourself. Just watch. If you want to join the Discord, just check it out. It's $80, but it's just to check it out. If you get the workshop, you can get that money back. If you don't want to spend any money, good. Go to YouTube and go study my videos, and I'll see you at 2 o'clock. Bring your questions. All right, guys. I'll see you in a little bit.